Right guys, welcome back to the channel. And if you do follow us on Twitch, you'll know that I do a lot of hobby streaming over on Twitch. And I tend to get asked quite a lot of different painting questions and techniques and such over on there. So if you're not following us already on Twitch for live hobby streams, go and give us a follow. But I get asked about brushes and what is in my painting kit quite a lot. So I'm going to show you guys what I paint nearly all of my models with. So here we go. This is the majority of my painting kit. That model's fantastic, by the way. I painted most of that up over on Twitch on Sunday night stream. But this is basically what is in my essentials hobby kit. So I'll talk you through what brushes I've got and the other bits and pieces that I've got here as well. I think there's a total of 8 brushes there. And some brush soap, and that's pretty much everything. Other than stuff, of course, like your water, super glues and stuff, I'm not going to go into. This is just what I paint with, minus some sponge if I do use a little bit of sponge painting, which I do like to do for some weathering now and again. So there is a mix of brand of brushes in here, and of course my tweezers for when I eventually get round to doing those sort of 200 infantry Blood Angel shoulder pad transfers. But this is what is in my kit. So there's a couple of different brands of brushes here, like I said, and there's a couple of different sizes and stuff as well. So we've got some Winsor & Newton Series 7 here, and we've got some Games Workshop brushes here. I'm going to start with the Games Workshop stuff. I don't like the Artificer brushes. I find that they split very quickly. I have had about 3 or 4 of them, and they just split way too quickly. Similarly, the brushes that are about a 5 each, the medium layer, small layer and stuff, for me, they split way too easily. And sometimes I'll put paint on them and then go to paint a model and they're already splitting. I don't like them. Apart from a couple of Games Workshop brushes. This is a medium shade. It's about the size of a number 2 or 3 in other brands. This is fantastic for washes. And this is what I used to wash that thing. Like literally lather wash on with this. Anything that's base coated and then you're applying a wash to the whole miniature, or really big things such as trim on Imperial Knights and stuff, this is basically my wash brush. Dry brushing for any big sections, like so all of this, red is dry brushed, the silver is dry brushed onto the black. I use Games Workshop's large dry brush, and you know what? Their dry brushes are really, really good. This I probably had about 6 to 8 months, I think, and you can see it's still in pretty decent condition. This brush, however, if you're dry brushing a lot of red, please go and buy another brush and dedicate that to red, because that red will not come out. No matter how much I've scrubbed that with brush soap, that red simply will not come out. And as you can appreciate, if you know how big of a Blood Angel collection I've got, this brush has seen a lot of models. So I would always recommend 2 brushes if you're doing red at any point. These are about £6 each, I think they are roughly. So they're not too bad actually for the price. They do last quite a while. I do have an older knackered one, which I do use sometimes. If I don't, like if I'm going to be like really rough on terrain or anything, I won't use this one. I've actually got another older one. Yeah, I try and keep that just for that. But basically it looks like this, just with other colours and stuff in by this point. So they're the Games Workshop brushes that I've got. I'm going to move these 2 to one side for the moment, but these are my Winsor & Newton brushes. Now, a lot of people say they're expensive, right? I paid between £10 and £13 each for these 4 brushes, okay? Which might seem like a lot, but I just want to point out that they are £3 or £4 cheaper than Games Workshop Artificer brushes. And this Zero, size 0 brush, I have had this since March 2019. It's now October 2020. Now granted, I don't use the Zero a lot. I use this for my eyes, mouths, things like that, and it tends to get looked after. I have a size 2 and a size 1. Size 2 I use for a lot of me base colours or blocking in. So for example, if I'm painting a Blood Angel Assault Intercessor, a lot of the black will be blocked in with the size 2. So the chainsword, the knee pads, the gun, even the bolt pistol holder, I'll do that in brown with my size 2. It's very, very good for getting those bases on. And if I need something a little bit finer than that, the medium shade brush from Games Workshop, I will use this to wash with as well. So that does get a reasonable amount of use. I sometimes use it for dry brushing if I'm doing very, very close-up dry brush work. So for example, any crack grenades normally have quite a lot of bumps on, and I will normally overbrush with the size 2. The size 1, however, is my main brush, and I paint almost everything with it. I'll put it over here. I do almost everything with that. So when I come to painting this guy, for example, I'll paint the chest eagles black with this. I'll then overbrush or edge highlight in the white. All of my edge highlighting, so on all of the leather, I would edge highlight all of the browns with this. I would also paint things like the insignia and the wax seal again in this. So yeah, this is me jack of all trades brush, and as you can see, it's still very nice despite me using that. I'll hold my hands up. This is a reasonably new brush. I've had this one for probably 4 or 5 months, as I have with the size 2 as well. But I use those brushes so much. I then have a 00. Now, I can probably count on my fingers and toes how many times I've used this. This is for very fine work, so if I'm dotting people's eyes, or very, very crisp detail, lettering on purity seals and things, that is what I use my 00 for. Now, I do have a 000. I have never used it. But yes, just to show you how long these brushes have lasted, I have kept these ones, but this is a size 1 and a size 2 that I bought in March 2019, and I just replaced them a few months ago. So as you can see, they are worn out, but they are still pretty decent brushes. And that is because not only do I find that they're better quality and they tend not to split, I do look after them as well. And I look after them with this. This is Masters brush soap. If you haven't got this stuff, I highly recommend that you go and get some. It's about 12 to 15 pound. Again, it might seem a lot, right? But I just want to point out that one, you can see this one's reasonably new. 1 tub of Masters brush soap and 4 Winsor & Newton brushes set you back 60 to 70 pounds nearly, but I've painted a lot of models in about 18 months with basically 4 brushes. Obviously a little bit of wash and dry brushing from these, but that is what I have done in 4 months, sorry, 18 months. If you followed me during lockdown when I was streaming a hell of a lot on Twitch, you'll see how much I got painted, and that is when I finally wore them brushes out in sort of June time. So I got like a good 15 months out of 2 brushes that I used almost exclusively for 15 months. So whilst they are there as my backup, I do use them occasionally. This is what I mainly use. Other things I keep in my toolkit is, this is an old army painter brush. I think this was a size 2 originally. I literally use this for PVA glue on my bases. It's handy. It was a nice brush at the time, but again, I feel it suffers from the same thing as Games Workshop. After a fair few usage, it starts to split. So I've kept hold of that for my PVA bases. And then I have this, which I stole from Lucy's makeup bag. I use this for weathering powder. It's basically just a soft makeup brush. And I use that for my weathering powders. But yeah, the Masters brush soap, between every colour, and even whilst you're using one colour for quite a period of time, clean your brush, because as soon as you get paint up in the ferrule, it starts damaging the brush. And look after them, make sure your paint doesn't stain your bristles, and your brushes should last you a long time. So Was it worth investing sort of £60–70 in 4 Winsor & Newton brushes and some Masters brush soap? For me, probably yes, because I would have probably gone through 2 or 3 Games Workshop brushes a month. Or at least that's what I was. So for me, spending that much money, yes, it was a lot to pull out in one go, but I wasn't going to Battle Bunker sort of every other week and buying 2 or 3 new brushes, which I found that I was at one point. So that is what is in my toolkit. I hope that has been insightful for you guys. I know there's a lot of other brands of brushes out there that people prefer. There is Broken Toad, Rosemary & Co. A lot of people use Da Vinci ones. Yeah, let me know what brushes you guys use and roughly how much they cost. I'd be interested at looking at some others, but certainly these Winsor & Newton Series 7 have served me very well over the last 18 months or so. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again very soon.